Now, in my last review, I talked about Manny Boxing VR, and this plays completely the opposite to that game. Now, in Manny, you're able to move your feet, move your head quite easily. In this game, to move your feet, you can move it, but you're very limited. The way you want to move your feet is, so if you want to get closer to your opponent, you have to press 2 buttons down and you have to start swinging your arms. This feels very unnatural, and I found myself being quite disorientated from doing it. Like, you got to use your hands to punch, but you're also using your arms to move your legs, which doesn't make sense. Now, one of the reasons why this is because this came out during the early days of VR, when your VR headset was still plugged into the back of your console or your PC. So if you moved your feet around, you'll probably, drag your console out with you and break in your computer. Now, you can actually move your legs by itself to get around, but you're very limited to how far you can actually go. So you could just about go in and out, and you could just about do lateral movement, but you're not able to go as far as you want. The game would really rather you stay up close to your opponent and actually work close towards your opponent, so not much movement of your feet, but if anything, more like moving your head but still throwing your punches in bunches. As an up close fighter myself, I usually like to fight people a little bit closer. This is where VR can't replicate. You see, sometimes when you work up close, the feel of someone's gloves or even the weight of the person actually matters. Now, let's go over some of the things that I do think is realistic. It is realistic to have your hands up. To recover, or have your character recover rather, you'd have to put your hands up to block punches. This will give you some time to get your breath back while being protected, which is something that you do see in real life. I'm not saying the games have to be 100% realistic. This game comes from the Rocky franchise. It's supposed to capture the feel of what it's like to be a fighter, the feel of it. Which means every fight has to feel like a struggle, every fight has to feel tough, which isn't too far off from real life in some ways. It's very rare you'll get an easy fight. And this is where you start to see what this game's about. This is about capturing what it's like to be Rocky, what it's like to be Creed. It's pulling you into that fantasy world of what it's like to be a fantasy boxer. And that's what it does right. So it's the whole point is it's based upon the whole Rocky franchise, and it's to capture the whole feel of Rocky. So when you do a fight, it's a struggle. There are homages. You can actually do a training montage where you spend 5 to 10 seconds on each training exercise. When you think training montages, Rocky's the first film that comes to mind. At first, when I played this, I didn't actually enjoy it. I thought the controls were a bit weird. They could have been a lot better, especially with the footwork, especially the way you look around. It's not the most realistic, but then again, it is based off the Rocky franchise. However, that being said, it wasn't until like 10 minutes in I actually started to enjoy myself and started having fun. Boxing games and boxing exercises are the most popular in VR. Other newer titles make good use of the modern VR technology, and this is a pretty old game in comparison. There is some fun to be had, but I wouldn't get this game unless you want to try this out, and I wouldn't get it unless it's on discount, especially with the newer titles that are coming out, especially for the boxing genre on VR.